We're live now on Facebook for our Schreiner Orientation Edition for Wednesday, June 24th. So, welcome everybody. Thank you for attending today. Today, we are discussing changing global societies in our study abroad program. We'll also be discussing our Campus Rec program. So, welcome. Just as a reminder, if you have any questions, things like that, feel free to put it in the chat box during the Zoom call, or you could post it on the SU Monty Facebook page as well. David Garrels and Dr. Charlie Huber are monitoring that. We'll get your questions into the show. If for some reason we miss a question, be sure to fill out the survey at the end of the show, and we have an option there to also ask those questions, and we'll work to get those answered and back out to you. So today, we have Mr. Tom Woods with us. Hello, sir. How are you doing today?
Doing well. How are y'all? It's good to. I've been able to sit in on a few of these, but it's good to finally be hosting a 30-minute session.
Yeah, we are glad you're here with us today, and you're going to be talking about our Changing Global Societies program and also study abroad a little bit. So, welcome to the show. We're glad to have you.
Excellent. Thank you so much. So yes, as Dr. Goodwin mentioned, I am Thomas Woods. I am the coordinator for Changing Global Society over here on Schreiner University's campus. I also teach a couple of history classes. So some of you, I think, may have gotten that communication today. Hopefully, people are reaching out to you about that registration process and getting into your classes. I haven't been able to check to see names, but I'm terrible with names anyway. So I'll just reintroduce myself if you're in one of my classes. Today, I'm going to go ahead and speak about a couple of the things that my office does to support the mission of Schreiner University. So at Schreiner, our goal is to prepare our students for meaningful work and purposeful lives in a changing global society. So I like to joke that I'm 1/3 of those. My colleague, Mr. Reist, he is the meaningful work person, internships, work study on campus. I think he's coming on a little bit later in the programming schedule, not today, but coming up in the next week or two. And my other colleague, Kelsey Penn, who is the coordinator of Purposeful Lives, who I think was already on, correct?
Yeah, she was on the 17th.
Nice. Able to talk about volunteer and that Purposeful Lives part of our mission. So I'm number 3, Changing Global Society. And guys, I've got to tell you, a lot of people's definitions of a changing global society may have changed quite a bit these last couple of months. Yeah, that's one of those things that we're just constantly in our mission. We're hoping to prepare people, and hopefully my office can help support with that. Under normal circumstances, and my department is a single person office, so it is me, my work study, and we typically provide support to programming on campus. And we've got a lot of good student organizations that are, I'm going to actually use the German word, multiculti, because I like, it's multicultural, right? German is very closely related language to English, but multiculti, and they're very good at rhymes, those Germans. We have a lot of multiculti kind of groups on campus, and they typically put on a lot of good events. My office tries to provide as much support as possible. And those programming events, I mean, they range from some of our larger ones are Dia de los Muertos. Occasionally we'll have Diwali and other opportunities to celebrate multiple different cultures, kind of try to present some information and some good fun. My office also oversees a certificate. So it's part of our Presidential Coin Challenge. And while you're here on our campus, the entire time you're here, you can be working towards some additional certificates and some challenges. My specific certificate is called the Changing Global Society certificate, and there are 3 components to it. The first is participating in a study abroad, and I'll talk a little bit about that a little bit later on, or an alternative experience that would meet those requirements. I'm kind of flexible. Email me, reach out to me. My email, I'll post it in the chat. I'll try to post it in the chat later, but it is tdwoods@schreiner.edu. If you have any other questions about this, I maybe missed something, don't cover something. But participation in a study abroad experience, participation or an equivalent, participation in 4 multicultural events on campus. So some of that good programming. We've got some during your entire time here on campus. There's a bit of a reflection piece as well. I'm happy to help work with you on any of that. And then taking 6 hours worth of global perspective courses. Now, the good news about that one is I believe that's part of the core anyway. And that is going to be something you're taking. So that already is done in most cases, which is real nice. If you're able to complete that certificate and the Meaningful Work and Purposeful Life certificate, then that's actually a way to get the, I think it's the Presidential Challenge coin to the Schreiner Experience coin, because that is one of those things we're trying to build up here on our campus, a Schreiner Experience. For those of you who are thinking maybe about what your degree plan is and what are some ways that you can find a minor that might be interesting to you, find a major. We don't offer a global studies major, but there is a global studies minor on this campus. There's also a European studies minor and I think, what's the other one that brushes up against global studies? International government politics, something like that. Anyway, I oversee the global studies minor, which has a couple of lower level classes, and it's interdisciplinary. It is a couple of classes from all different types of degree fields, some business classes, some English classes, some history classes. I'm a little bit biased because, the history background, but there's a lot of good opportunities there, and some upper level classes as well that work and achieve that requirements. And that global studies minor, the goal of it is to help those students who are maybe interested in finding a way to bring global studies, international studies, multiculturalism, international relations into whatever their major is, and also maybe those students who are interested in pursuing those experiences during and after college. Now, the way that study abroad, because that's another part that my office oversees, the way that study abroad works on our campus under normal circumstances, there's 2 major types of experiences that you can take. The first is a faculty-led experience. Those are, or faculty staff-led. I think that really depending on the department, sometimes it is something associated with an athletics team as well, is how we're trying to make that work. But those faculty-led experiences are typically shorter. They typically run about a week to maybe 2 weeks. I think the longest one we have is occasionally we've offered a summer school that students can take some classes abroad, typically in Florence, Italy. And that one is 4 weeks experience. But typically those faculty-led trips run about a week to 2. And within those, some of them are open really to everybody. And the goal is to reach the widest possible audience we can. So those courses, if they're associated with that study abroad, they are faculty-led. And if the faculty is going, then typically they're teaching a class that works along with that. These events are either the capstone event, the capstone to that course, kind of like after you've done all your studies during the summer or spring or whatever semester, you have this, or it's the beginning of that course. And then the rest of the course is dissecting that, kind of seeing ways to learn from that experience. Some of them are open to pretty much everybody, and we try to reach the widest group possible, the widest group available. Some of them are very associated with upper level courses. I'm thinking there's a public health trip that typically goes, it's a service learning trip that will go to Guatemala. And there's some opportunity to see how public health works in settings like that. Model UN is one of those other ones. But the good news about associating these trips with credit is that you are getting course credit on these trips, the ones that are associated with a course of some sort, and you're able to maybe continue to pursue your degree, make meaningful progress. There is also more individual study abroad, and this is where it gets a lot closer to those general, I guess, semesters abroad is how we typically think of them under the best of circumstances. We have an exchange program with Hanam University in South Korea. We typically will have some of their students come onto our campus, and it's been a while. It's been since before I got here. We've been able to send some students that direction, but they offer both semester-long exchanges as well as an excellent, under normal circumstances, summer studies program in which really people from all the world over are able to take a 3 to 4 week immersion in Korean culture class. That's just one of the examples of the exchanges. We also work with various providers to extend our footprint, extend our reach, so that if you are interested in going to maybe an area that we haven't gone before, or that we don't currently have a university connection with, come talk to me, tell me where you're interested in going, and I'll do my best to try to find some programs that might match, and that might match your field of study as well. Now, of course, the those are all under normal circumstances, and this session does kind of require a brief discussion maybe of, that's all well and good, but what are we doing this year with so many things still up in the air and with so many unknowns still about. So the COVID-19 considerations for semesters abroad, for study abroad, for those faculty-led trips, right now at this time, CDC has a global alert level 3, which is an advisory against travel. State Department has a health alert at level 4, which is a do not travel guidance. And the university right now is hopeful that we will be able to resume support for study abroad experiences in summer 2021. I am working with our faculty who are interested in either finding a way to make those experiences that could not happen this summer happen next summer, happen in a secure way. The good news is international travel as a field is absolutely aware of what students need to be safe and to continue to have these meaningful experiences. So quite a few of these trips that are looking at being planned for summer 2021, there's a lot of good safeties built in. Think of them as if you've gone bowling, maybe not recently, but if you've ever gone bowling, there's those bumpers coming up to make sure you don't roll a gutter ball. We are absolutely making sure that student health is protected and that student finances are protected. Any of those providers who maybe they help us put on some trips to Greece, maybe they help us put on some trips to Romania is one of the recent ones we went on. They are absolutely going to make sure that is well. And the university is hopefully and tentatively planning to resume institutional support starting summer 2021, which is actually perfect timing for you guys, because you're coming in, you're getting those classes out of the way, you'll hit that sophomore level, and in between maybe freshman and sophomore, if circumstances align, we'll be able to have some good experiences. One that we're currently working on is, and maybe some of you may be a part of this living and learning community, the Global Scholars Living Learning Community, which is run by managed by one of my colleagues, Dr. Kood. We are currently looking at trying to find a way to get both last year's Global Scholars and this year's Global Scholars, as well as anyone else who's interested in maybe going to get to Greece, to Athens, hopefully next summer. And that's just one example. Oh, it's been a while since I've had to talk so long. Normally, in the classroom, it's easy, right? You just keep going and going and going. But now, it's been the case. We do have we do have a Changing Global Society Instagram. I personally, I'm one of those people who maybe has limited knowledge of social media, but my work study does a real good job of helping me to keep that going. And I believe it is Changing Global Society at I think it's just Changing Global Society at Schreiner, and that should take you there. I'll try to find after this session, after my time is up, I will find a way to share that out in the comments. I see there is a question about living and learning communities in general, and I'm going to defer maybe to Matt for that one.
I know Dr. Huber is he's there and listening. I know in the past there are different learning communities that do have different residence halls that they need to be in a living learning community. However, with the Delaney dorm, I know in the past, I believe Global Scholars was there, but I'm not caught up as far as
I don't think that
where
was
we
the
are now.
case. I don't know. I'm not 100% in. Feel free, someone, anyone to chime in. It is Delaney this year, last year.
Yeah, Global Scholars was assigned to Delaney. Now, the only housing assignment for a learning community that will be required to live together will be honors. Everyone else is going to be either randomly assigned to a requested roommate as a freshman, or assigned to their athletic team. And really, that's the wrong order. Priority will be if you're in honors, you're in honors. If you're not in honors and you're a member of an athletic team, you will be a suite mate with someone on your athletic team. So if you're a soccer player, you'll be suite mate with a soccer player. And you'll be in a floor and a wing with a soccer player, with soccer, if you're on a soccer team. If you're a wrestler, you'll be with the wrestling team, and so forth and so on. And then after that, it's by request. And then after that, it's by random assignment. So if you have someone, if you're not on an athletic program, then you can request a roommate. If you have one, if your requested roommate's on an athletic program, then you will be assigned a random roommate. And then, yes, so Miguel asked that question. What if we were both on an athletic team, but we put each other by request? No, you, as a freshman, you won't have that request met. So if you're on one athletic team, so let's say you play soccer and your friend is on the tennis team, you will not be suite mates with your friend as a freshman. Now, this is in order to help us keep social distancing. Again, a lot of this, and I say this is our plan now, and we ask for patience as this changes. This may change, and we may allow you to choose your roommates. Right now, our plan moving forward is that freshmen will, in your first year, especially your first semester, we'll do this. Now, technically, nobody has a roommate. You'll have a suite mate. Everybody now is getting their own room. So hopefully that answers your question. Didn't mean to hijack your presentation.
No worries. It bought me time to think and kind of go through, just like when you're teaching and you're kind of like, did I cover that part? Maybe I can rope it in now. So one part, and I probably should have led with this maybe on the study abroad part, is because it's part of the mission of our university, preparing students for meaningful work, purposeful lives, in a changing global society. My office is able to provide some additional support. Any of those costs, any of those prices that our students see when they if they're interested in travel abroad under good circumstances, and they're interested in signing up, any of those costs that they see are partially supported by my office. So whatever it whatever it would have been, it's a little bit lower because it is the mission of our university. And that's definitely the case for especially you guys, because none of you have traveled with us before. And so we're able to absolutely honor those and help provide that. I don't know what the best word for it is. Subsidy, scholarship, support, whatever that word is. My office does help out on any of those Changing Global Society approved trips.
We do have a question from Chloe Young asking about, this is more, I guess, for returning students who might have been signed up to travel but weren't able to. The question is more along the lines of how does it affect them in the Global Perspective certificate?
Excellent question. And so Chloe, you may have been, and maybe some friends who were signed up to go somewhere during spring 2020 or maybe summer 2020. And of course, circumstances arose where that unfortunately could not be followed through upon. For those of you who were absolutely working to achieve that certificate, and that was going to be one of your requirements, email me. And I think my email has been posted in the chat. It's been pushed up a little bit now, but tdwoods@schreiner.edu. Thank you for the individual who posted that out for me. But email me, let me know the trip that you were hoping to go on. And especially if you're thinking about, and if you're in that area where you're graduating, maybe before you have the opportunity to go on another one. My office is in a way, aren't we all living in a changing global society right now? I mean, aren't we? So email me and I will absolutely work with you to find a suitable option that would allow you to continue without being, I guess, what's the word I want to look for? Without not having that opportunity to get that certificate due to circumstances outside of your control. And share that along with everybody else who may have been signed up to go on one of those trips and for whatever reason could not. We are looking at trying to find ways to, those of you who were signed up, we are emphasizing, for instance, the exercise science trip that was also the Global Scholars trip that couldn't go to Greece this last summer, but we're hopeful that we'll be able to plan for this summer. A lot of ours, the Model UN, Guatemala Public Health, those come up on rotation frequently. We're looking to try to honor those as much as we possibly can. And if circumstances arise, things are different, you're not able to, but you were signed up, talk to me and reach out to me. I'm usually pretty good about responding to emails in a timely manner, but I look forward to hearing from you. And I guess the long and short of it, will this impede your progress due to circumstances out of your control? I don't foresee that being the case. I will work with you and Schreiner will work with you.
Nice. I guess now we all get the certificate.
I think we should. Quite frankly, I'm ready to do that. I'm about there.
It looks like...
Well,
go ahead.
We did have a question. Yeah, from Israel, asked when we will find out our dorm hall assignment. And so Israel, if you're listening, and for those of you that this is a good question, I will say that we are going to make those assignments as soon as possible. We probably won't release those until about midway through July. This is the shifting and changing. Normally we try to right after the 4th of July. It may be a week later this year that we release hall assignments. And so now we want to get them in time so that everybody has, you can really, residence halls, you're going to have plenty of space because everybody gets their own room. So I'm less concerned with that as more just you understanding where you're going to be. And there's a lot of anxiety, and I get that. Right now we're trying to juggle all of the different requests that were coming in. Our first priority is for all the freshmen to get registered for their classes. And then, and right now we're also at the same time, we're making hall assignments. It may come out earlier, may come out on the same schedule that we've had in the years past, July 1, or either right before or right after the 4th of July is what we try to do. It may be a week later, but you will get a hall assignment. You'll have your dorm. All of that will be ready mid-July, 2 or 3 weeks before you move in. And again, move-in was moved up, so August 6th and 7th will continue to be freshman move-in. Those protocols are changing based on the shifting nature of COVID-19. Again, this is one of the very frustrating things about the world right now is the moment we make a decision, within a few days, that decision is negated or something else changes and we have to shift our direction. And so ask for your patience in that. But our plan is to have move in on August 6th and 7th. That hasn't changed. And then we'll start classes earlier this year on August 12th. And we'll get moving there. So good question, Israel.
Mm-hmm.
So Albert had a question here. It's kind of direct related, Thomas,
Yeah.
but it's more specifically about the IDST freshman studies course. But there is a question in there about demands, kind of outside of the classroom as for athletes and things like that. So I think we can kind of mold this to fit both of our needs.
Absolutely.
So the question was, he wants to know about the assignment and workloads, expectations of time, demands for the IDST freshman studies course for athletes who sign up for additional courses for the fall one. So I'm assuming that might mean he's got 3 courses, or maybe even 4 courses for fall one. I'll talk a little bit more of that if you want to think through how to apply that to more of the changing global piece. But I would say, Albert, that their schedules are set up in a way where if identified as an athlete, the practices things typically work out in the athlete's favor,
Yeah.
especially with these new fall sessions happening. I believe that it might be even a little easier as far as class time and practice time goes. Even for the study piece now that you have the Wednesday off, it's not
Mm-hmm.
necessarily off. You just don't have classes that day.
Mm-hmm.
That should be a designated study day for everyone. I know that's what I'll be telling my IDST class, and I'm sure that's going to be shared with a whole bunch of other people on campus of how to utilize that Wednesday to the most of your benefit for you. And then as far as time demands and assignments and things like that, specifically for that class, it's geared and designed around to prepare you to be a successful student, not for that class specifically, but in general overall your experience at Schreiner in every single class. So I would say there is a workload for that class, but it's not a high demand workload. We take into consideration that a support class to get you ready to be successful in other courses as well. Thomas, I don't know if you want to add to that or anything.
I feel pretty confident with your answer.
Now, that I guess it kind of leads into with being or going for the certificate.
Yes.
Is there
Yes.
any outside classroom work? Is there any time commitment there?
So the certificate, I can't speak to my colleagues in meaningful work and purposeful lives, but with changing global society, really the additional piece that does exist is the semester in which you intend to graduate. And I think that there's going to be an easier way we're going to streamline this for the programming at least, so you have data of what events you've attended. But the semester in which you graduate, if you were to send me your reflection pieces, they are brief reflections, about a page per event, and then maybe I think it's 2 pages for the study abroad or equivalent experience, and those meet those parameters. And that's really the only outside classwork, because you're already, best practices, you're going to be attending these programmings, events. You're going to be, these are things you're going to be going through, and hey, I'm walking to the cafeteria. Hey, what's going on here? Oh, great, there's an event. You're participating in that. Yeah, that's one of those things. So it's not really an extra load insofar as, I guess, classwork that would impede activity in athletics or your other classes. I love these questions. I love these, especially connecting it. I think my time is up, and any additional questions you might have on changing global society, the certificate, the minor, or study abroad, or COVID, send me an email at my contact information just came up in the chat, tdwoods@schreiner.edu. and I will get back to it just as soon as I can. Thank you all for having me.
Thomas, thank you for your time. We appreciate it today. A little bit before we get into the Colby's area for Campus Rec, just as just an ex-athlete, there is, the expectation, right, that you're an athlete and but you're a student first. But I will say that if you're put in the work necessary, that both can happen. Absolutely. Okay.
Thanks, y'all.
Thank you. I'm gonna go ahead and I know there's a couple questions coming up, but I'm gonna go ahead and introduce Colby McCoy, our campus recreation director, and allow him to jump in and start talking about campus rec. We'll go through these questions and then we'll be able to get them asked throughout the presentation. So, Colby, welcome.
Awesome. How's it going, guys? I hope y'all are all doing well today on this awesome Wednesday. So I am the campus rec director at Schreiner, and I'm just going to kind of give y'all a rundown on everything that we offer and run throughout the semesters. I kind of have my hands in a lot of different things. So I'm going to break it down into basically 3 different sections. I run the intramural program. I run the weight room slash Mountaineer Fitness Center. And then I also do our like adventure program, which is kind of like our outdoor pursuits, trips and different things. But I'm going to start with our intramural program. Intramurals, we kind of break it down into a couple of big sports each semester, and then a couple of small one-day tournaments and different events like that. So typically in the fall semester, we'll offer like a softball league, we'll do flag football in the fall, and then we'll also do a dodgeball league or indoor soccer, depending on the demand for each of those. And then in the spring semester, we do indoor volleyball, basketball, and then sand volleyball. And we kind of break up each league depending on the number of teams and different things into different divisions, which kind of allows us to have a more competitive league and then also a kind of more for fun rec league, which has been shown to work really well for Schreiner, because we do have a good amount of people who want to be pretty competitive, and then we also have a group that just wants to hang out and have fun, and so we kind of try to offer it for both of them. One of the things that I think is really cool about Schreiner's intramurals program is they play for a shirt that I give out at the end of each league, and I've never seen people so obsessed with getting these shirts before. But if you get the shirt, you're cool. You are the person for that sport. I don't have one with me at home, but it's a huge deal. So if you're ever on campus and you're in the MFC, you'll see them. I have one pinned up in my office. Like it's a big deal. So you gotta get the shirt. You gotta win the leagues. We also we do like different sports. Like we'll have a ping pong tournament. We'll do spike ball tournaments. We have racquetball courts on campus. We'll do sand soccer tournaments. Kind of just different sports. And the cool thing about being a smaller school and being able to run that program is if there is someone who wants to run a certain sport that we don't currently have, and there's enough of a demand for it, it's pretty easy to get that up and going without too many barriers or anything like that, because we just have to find the space to do it and have the need and want to do it. So intramurals is a lot of fun. I play in most of the leagues with them. Good turnout, and that's probably my favorite part about running it, is just everybody gets into it and it's a lot of fun. So kind of and that's a normal semester. So with COVID-19 and everything going on, it'll be a little bit different in the fall. We're looking into different ways to kind of like take sports and different games to the different dorms, and what they'll be limited to. So like cornhole, spike ball, can jam, like ping pong at the MFC, stuff that's not going to require as much contact as like flag football or basketball, for example. So we're going to try to offer kind of things like that in the fall, and then hopefully, depending on where things are at in the spring, we'll get back to kind of a normal intramurals season. So the other thing I do is I run the Mountaineer Adventure Program, or MAP, and that is like the different trips and different things that we do in the semester. In March we had a ski trip planned. That did not take place because of everything going on. But typically in the spring, over spring break period, we kind of offer a ski trip that students enjoy going on. And then right after graduation, we offer a kind of a hiking camping trip. We were planning on going to the Guadalupe Mountains this year. That obviously didn't happen either. The year before, it was a trip to Big Bend. So like they do trips like that. And then in the fall semester, we try to find like a fishing trip or another kind of camping trip or something in the fall as well. We offer like kind of day trips, like we'll go out to the Enchanted Rock and go hike that in a one day. We also have the River Trail, which if you're not familiar with Kerrville, I believe it's going to be almost 12 and a half miles long when it's completed, and it will be attached to Schreiner. So we'll have direct access to that. That way we can just kind of get outside and be active and be involved. I just read that chat question for the adventure. It's the Mountaineer Adventure program, and it's just paid per trip. Some of the trips are free to go on, and then like the ski trip, we kind of get the final price and we narrow it down, and then the students will pay a small portion of it. That way it's doable for everybody. The camping trip over the summer is really, really affordable. That one's one of the cheapest ones because most of it's camping supplies that we already have. So most of that is a park fee, which is for the group, and then food and stuff. So it's just based on, you pay per trip. And then like the day trips and stuff, like if we're going to Enchanted Rock, that'd be a free trip. We also have the river that runs right through Kerrville. And so there's access to different things like kayaking and different and things on the river. The other thing that I am in charge of is our Mountaineer Fitness Center, and that is kind of where everything kind of runs out of. Our fitness center there is it's awesome. It has everything you'll need to get a good workout in. We just got some stair steppers. I guess that was 2 years ago, but that was because a couple of students really wanted them, so we got them on a test period, and they decided to keep them because people like them. So it's a good sized fitness center. The sports teams do use it as well, so sometimes that can be a little bit busy, but if you go anytime that's not 6 to 7, 5 to 7 is the busiest time that you can go. But most of the time you'll have plenty of space in there, and you won't be fighting for equipment. Now with the protocols that we'll have in place for the fall semester, we're going to do a little bit more scheduling for that area, not just letting everybody just show up when they want. It'll be a scheduled time frame, and you'll have a certain amount of time to do your workout. So it'll be a little bit different, but once we get back to normal, you have access to it anytime we're open, which is open from 7. Tell me at 8, 10, Matt?
The hours of the fitness center during the school year, it's open till 10.
7 to 10.
Yeah, and then during the summer hours, it's condensed down quite a bit to think we're based on 8 to 6 hours for the summer, but during the school year, and then the weekends are different too. We usually open late or um, close early depending on the Saturday or the Sunday. And each semester we kind of look at that to see what the need is.
Right. And those will be posted in the fitness center and on the doors and stuff, so you'll be able to see that. It just kind of depends on when people want to come use it. Also in the fitness center, we have a lot of equipment and different things that can be rented out. We have ping pong tables and racquetball courts. Kerrville actually has some of the only racquetball. We have the only racquetball courts in Kerrville. I guess the closest ones would be in Bernie, which is about 45 minutes away from us. So if you're a big racquetball player, we got those. We have all sorts of equipment for those. We have basketballs, volleyballs, footballs, anything that you want to rent out can be rented out through the MFC. And we also, we have student workers who work all of those positions. We have intramural refs, and we have the MFC staff who manage the weight room and kind of equipment rental and stuff like that. So we offer quite a few different student jobs on campus. Also with the MFC, right outside of that, we have a sports court which can be used to shoot baskets. We also have a gym that offers open gym throughout the semester. That will be kind of limited depending on what the protocols are going to be for the fall semester, but normally we can kind of open that up and people can go shoot around, play volleyball, literally whatever they want in the open gym. They play a lot of indoor soccer at night in there, but that just depends on if it's open and available. Matt, did you read that question from Miguel?
So access to the fitness center, it's currently closed this summer. We have protocols put into place for when everybody gets back in the fall. So as of right now, the day you move in, outside of the scheduled camp hours and things like that, we already have set up for everybody to participate in. The fitness center will be open as of now. Now things always change, but that's what the procedures and protocols we have put into place are currently. The information about what that is and how that would look specifically can be found at the COVID-19 manual on our Schreiner website. And I'd say if you haven't had a chance to read through that, it'd be a good idea to go ahead and get familiar with some of the things. Now, it's always that is what it is today, and it is what it is expected to be when you move in. However, because of the ongoing changes and things happening in the world, we're keeping up with all of that. But just to give you a little bit more information, that'd be a good place to start. So, long answer to your short question. And then work study jobs, same idea. Work study jobs a little bit more complicated just because of paperwork and things that needed to be taken care of. But once you're on campus, and David Reese will be here next. He'll be here on the 29th on Monday. He is overseeing meaningful work. He'll be able to tell you more information specifically about the work study program and how all that works, and make sure that you'd be able to apply for different work study positions. The work study jobs are not just handed out, they are things that you have to apply for and interview for in different areas across campus.
Yes, sir. A couple other things with the MFC. We have a dance room in the MFC, which when it's not being used is free to work out in, dance around, whatever you want to do in there. We also offer fitness classes, which are either kind of led by, we have a few instructors. Some are student instructors, and then some are certified people who just want to teach the classes. Last semester, we were offering a cardio kickboxing a yoga class, a spin class or cycling, and then also Zumba. Since COVID-19 has happened, the fitness classes have stopped. On our SU Campus Rec Instagram page, if y'all want to go follow that, I post workout videos and different exercises you can do. A bunch of them are at-home workouts. I've started to post some gym workouts now that people have access to it again. But that's probably something that's going to stay. It'll probably be a weekly workout video on there. As far as in the fall semester, we'll probably do everything through that online outlet. We've been posting yoga still and Zumba, all online, and we'll probably continue to go that route just until we get cleared to be able to have, a lot of people in the same room. So yeah, y'all go follow the SU Campus Rec Instagram page. I'll type it in here.
Yeah, we should go ahead and say, I mean, that you are a student of Schreiner, you have access to that now. Should also say a lot of the things that we do. I saw something up there about paying for the club, and I think Colby mentioned it already, but there's no cost, right, for these fitness classes, things like that. That's part of being a student at Schreiner University. There are certain things sometimes that do cost, such like the ski trip and things like that, but it's a very reduced cost. We use simple, just the numbers of people who are interested in going on certain trips to be able to reduce the cost of the trips, to make it more affordable for everybody to go, and that's a benefit of that our campus recreation department offers. The t-shirts earlier, Colby,
Oh, he's got one.
I've got one because I am a campus recreation champion. I don't know if it's the green screen's gonna let it do it. Wait, kinda.
Where is it?
Oh, back and forth. Here, I'll turn the camera off. But it is the Campus Recreation Championship shirt is a bit of a tradition for Campus Rec because it's been around forever, right? There it is. David's got one too, right there. The best part with the shirt, I won, you lost, it happens, get over it. And this is definitely a shirt that is played for, has been played for, gosh, a very long time, at least 20 plus years, I would say, because this shirt's been around since, I know I've been there. Not that I've been there for 20 years, but the person before me and before me and before me always had it. So it's definitely a shirt that people are seeking. It's exciting. I just needed to show people what. Like,
I'm
it's
glad
not
you
just a shirt. It's yeah.
It's not just a shirt. Y'all don't understand.
We worked really hard in our volleyball league recently to win this shirt.
We did. We worked very, very hard for that. Good win. But yeah, it's not just a shirt. You'll understand once you kind of get here. People go all out for the shirt. It's pretty funny. But yeah, I'm glad you had that.
I don't see any specific questions that have popped up. Different things that just to know about our campus rec program. As a student, you do have access. The office is located in the Mountaineer Fitness Center. Colby's right there, right when you walk in. He does have a large staff of students that help. So when you're talking intramurals, it's not Colby just running it. The students run it with him in the work study positions, which is a huge benefit. You're going to notice that a lot of these work study positions, not just in campus rec, but just across campus, are there, one, yes, to help provide you with some additional funds, but two, to give you an option to become experienced in specific areas if you're able to get one of those jobs. So if you're an exercise science major or sport management major or something along those lines, campus rec is a good fit because you're going to be placed within a job that would allow you to help run a program such as the intramural program and things like that. And you get to work with Colby directly in getting those skill sets. And the closer you're becoming into your senior year, you'll quickly realize that you can use that experience into internships, possible jobs. We've had a lot of students who have gone on into the most recent one I can think of. I did an internship with the Spurs um, Sports Network, running community-based programs for her internship. So there's a lot of possibilities with that. Of course, it's across campus, but specifically campus rec. Those are definitely things that are a benefit to looking for those opportunities.
It's also cool because it's really flexible. So like if you are on a sports team and you want to ref one of the sports in your off season, it's totally cool. We'll bring you on for that little bit of the season, and then you got your sport starting back up. We understand. Go play your sport. It's not something that's like it's flexible enough to work with almost everybody's schedule, which also is really cool if you want an on-campus job.
All right. Okay, I don't see any other questions for Campus Rec. There was one back as a question about classes that go through the lunch hour. The cafeteria, I know I've been told, and Dr. Huber, correct me if this has changed, but I know 7 a.m. to the 8 p.m. hour was I think the hours of last semester.
Yeah. And so, and currently there's no plan to change the hours. We're still working out with Chartwell's, our food service provider, how we will do the meals this year. And a lot of that depends on what the government's requirements are for restaurants, and we have to follow those protocols. So if they change that at all, then we'll have to adjust with that. But we will have 3 options on campus. So if you have lunch during your lunch hour, or I mean, if you have class during the lunch hour, you can go before lunch or after lunch, and you can pick up meals either at the all-service dining hall, which is basically a buffet, but you also have meal equivalencies that you can use at either our food truck, which will be located at the Trailhead Beer Garden, or somewhere else on campus. We're trying to decide where will be a convenient location for that for lunch. For dinner, it's always going to be at the Trailhead Beer Garden. We serve more than beer out there, and it's a really cool place. If you haven't, which most of you haven't had a chance to come to campus in the past couple of weeks, but it's pretty cool. And there's a stage out there, and we're going to do live music. And then so we also will have the Lion's Den will be available for meal swipes, so you can use your meal plan in the Lion's Den. You can get like a burger or something along those lines there with the meal card. So you can get like a to-go lunch, and it varies. We did have another question, so that one's a good one on the meal plans. We had another question about email addresses. You should have received the information for your email address. We're going to check with our IT folks and get back to you to get you a more solid answer. But typically they send that information out to your alternative email address, which you've given us. And so if you don't have access to Schreiner One or to your email, we will make sure that you get that, and we will get that information together for you as to how to do that. So you might want to dig through your emails, your old emails, because it's probably there. I think Miguel asked that question of me, so hopefully we'll get that
I have
information.
an update for that. They were quick getting back to me. So when when you're admitted, right, you get your username and password for Schreiner One. When you commit, that username and their current password are used to create their Active Directory and email account. So fast forward a little bit, 5 days before the first term starts, so pretty much when you're coming back, moving in, part of camp, we'll be able to get you connected to that Schreiner email. And you also will get a notification um, regarding that email address, how to access it, how to do their course content, Canvas, and things like that. So if you've been trying to use your Schreiner email address, it's not accessible just yet. That comes later in the process.
Perfect. Is the Lion's Den still only Monty Bucks? Justin, no, it is not. The Lion's Den will now accept meal swipes.
You can also pay with like cards and different things.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can play. You can pay with cash or with your credit card, or you will have meal swipes. So each meal plan now has a limited number of meal swipes per week, and so it depends on which plan you're on. but it could be 20 meals, could be 15 meals. So depending on which plan you've chosen, if you have 20 meals and you go and you eat 3 lunches a day and you eat 2 dinners, you're going to run out of meals pretty quick by the end of the week. But you can do that.
Should say, once you're in the diner, like there's no limit. Like it's a all you can eat type of scenario in the cafeteria.
Yeah.
The Lions Den's different, but so for those of you that might be leaving or getting from a practice and are extremely hungry and you're looking to to fuel up, the cafeteria, just know that at least as I remember walking in, you have swipe your card and you're good to go.
Yeah. And so the difference between the Lion's Den and the diner primarily is going to be that there's healthier and better options in the diner. And so typically when you go to the Lion's Den, you're either going to get like a burger and fries, or you might be able to get a wrap and something. So you're limited in your options, and you're only going to have 4 or 5 meal swipe options. In the diner, you'll have a full meal. You could get chicken fried steak, mashed potatoes, that, or you can get pizza, or you can get something, whatever they have on the marquee bar, smashed potatoes, everybody loves. Sometimes they'll have an omelet section over there. They'll do different world cuisines. So you have multiple sections around the diner that offer you a variety of food. So a lot like a buffet at a regular restaurant, buffet restaurants, if people still do those, Golden Corral, something like that. A little nicer than that, I think. But that's your options within the diner. The Lion's Den is more like a Burger King or something like that. You're going to have meal options, and that's it. Especially with your swipe, you're even more limited. If you use money, you can buy anything on the menu. But with the swipes, you'll be limited to 4 or 5 combo meals, and that's what you'll have to use your swipe for. You can't just say, well, I want to buy $8 worth of stuff, and that's my swipe. That's not how it works. You just get the one option. So, but yeah, and that's all new for you guys as freshmen, something we fought for a long time. And I know Matt and David and anybody that's been around for a while, the meal swipe option has been something that we've been pushing for a long time. So you guys get to be the first to benefit from it. So we're very excited about that. Now, this is all pending COVID-19 and restaurant rules. So if the governor's office says, we can't, all restaurants are shut down, then that food services right now we're assuming falls under that. And that means we would have to change those protocols. And we may go to a delivery system where we deliver meals to or we have box lunches that students pick up. We did that over the summer. Right now, our plan is to have the dining hall open with limited seating capacity, just like most restaurants, where you have to wear your mask until you're sitting at your table, those kinds of things.
We do have one more question on the Facebook from Julia. Is the weight room open 24/7? I think we gave those hours earlier. I believe it's all that's dependent upon, again, our situation we find ourselves in the fall, but I think we said till 10 p.m. Is that correct?
Monday through Friday.
Yeah, Monday through Friday, it's 7 a.m. till 10 p.m.
10.
Saturday and
that
Sunday.
Hardcore, you have your room to yourself. You can do push-ups and sit-ups.
That's right.
Herschel Walker got completely ripped without weights.
Yeah, and Colby has some great at-home bodyweight workouts he was talking about earlier, right?
I got 3 new followers on SU Campus Rec, so shout out to whoever followed me. I appreciate y'all.
Well, yeah, that's good. Actually, a nice little perk. Silver lining in all this is the new pieces of the program that we're able to offer now.
Yeah.
So, be looking forward for more of that. Well, we are at the 5 o'clock hour. I don't see any more questions on my side. So I think we'll call it a day for this session. Colby, thank you.
I appreciate y'all having me here.
Thanks, guys.
Just remember that the survey link is there. It's also been sent out through email. Fill that out. If you have any additional questions, make sure to take advantage of that section of the survey, and we'll get those answered for you. Thank you. Have a good weekend, and we'll see everybody back on Monday.
Thanks, y'all.
Monday.